Have you ever thought you saw somebody, then looked again, and there was no one there?
Have you ever wondered, if you could speak with somebody who's passed on, what would you say?
Do you believe our spirits live on after we die?
I'm your host, Mike Wobschel.
And I'm Katrina Genevason. Answers to these questions and more today on Dead Time.
Welcome to Dead Time. I hope you're ready for some hauntingly intriguing and mysterious stories from beyond.
Throughout the show, we'll be exploring the Quinte region in search of stories surrounding the paranormal.
Some explained.
And many unexplained.
Do you believe we are visited by the other side?
There are skeptics everywhere, but what we're about to show you might change your mind.
On our show today, we travel to Kingston, Ontario to the Prince George Hotel and the Tirnanog Pub.
The Prince George Hotel and the Tirnanog Pub has quite the storied history behind it, dating all the way back to the early 1800s.
The hotel, although not operational, is still used. A few years ago, it was newly renovated and turned into an apartment complex.
Over the years, there have been multiple sightings of paranormal beings and strange occurrences that have stirred the people working there.
Well, I'll tell you, if that was me, I wouldn't be working there, but I'm still having troubles believing this one.
Well, I think we should let our audience decide that for themselves. Let's take a look.
Our story today has to do with the Prince George Hotel and Tirnanog Irish Pub. Both places have had several strange incidences over the years. When the hotel was operational, cleaning staff reported seeing and hearing strange things such as lights or radios turning on or off in bedrooms. Well, this hotel was built in 1809, and a number of years ago they actually shut it down for 3 years and then renovated and opened it as an apartment building.
Brendan is one of the managers at the Tirnanog Irish Pub located on the first floor of the hotel and has witnessed some strange hauntings.
And after everyone had left, I locked the whole building, left my bar, went into the manager's office, did my count, walked back into the bar, and when I got back there, the entire bar, I brought these to show, had coasters laid out like this over the entire bar, all of the bar tops, all of the tabletops, and the entire floor.
Jordan, a senior chef at the pub, has also had his own experiences with the ghost of the Prince George Hotel.
In particular was me and my chef from a few years ago were taking some product downstairs, and we just prepped up and put it on a big prep table in front of our fridges. And we'd gone all the way back to the dry storage where we were going to grab some more stuff, and we heard this like huge loud bang and crash. We were like, what was that? So we turned around and walked back into the fridge area, and something had taken the entire 15-liter Cambro of product that we had just made and like thrown it across and smashed it against the fridge door.
Throughout the history of the Prince George Hotel, there have been a series of fires, originally starting before the hotel was built when the land was owned by the Herkimer family. Lily was a daughter of the owners and died tragically in the first of 3 fires at the hotel, and it's said her spirit still haunts the place.
The Herkimer family had a home and business on this site before the hotel was built in 1809. Lily, their youngest daughter, was having a romance with a sailor, a relationship which her parents did not approve of. Nevertheless, on nights when she knew her sailor was in the harbor and that it was safe for him to visit, she would place a lantern in her windowsill to let him know he could come by.
Lily lived in the front southwest bedroom facing the water. The history of it is that she started dating a sailor boy, and what she'd do at night is leave a oil-lit candle for him to understand, know that he should be coming in because her parents were asleep. One night she fell asleep, left the candles on. It caught the drapes on fire, and the whole place burned, which is a fact, and she died in the fire.
Patrons of the pub have also seen their share of spirits, one of which is a little girl who's been seen in the kitchens, pubs, and even in the residential part of the hotel.
On one occasion, a woman was staying on the 3rd floor with her younger daughter. She was up very late at work, and when it was time for bed, she told her daughter not to worry about her toys, but just to leave them till morning. However, in the middle of the night, she woke up to see her daughter playing with some toys on the floor. but soon realized that her daughter was in fact still asleep on the bed beside her.
Strange and unexplainable things lie beneath the kitchens in the condemned basement area of the hotel. Towards the back walls of the basement, there's still evidence of a fire, but it's the strange drawings that can't be explained. Drawings like those of a young child with words scrawled on the walls saying Emily and Mama. Employees of the pub have no clue where the writings come from, but believe that they may somehow be tied with Lily Herkimer and the little girl seen throughout the hotel.
I haven't seen her. I have not seen the little girl. I've heard everyone talk about her, and other people have seen her. I have not seen the little girl. I remember seeing a picture that someone had taken around in this area, and she was like standing over in the corner right there. And it was just like this like kind of shadowy image, but that was it.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was the same little girl wandering around the building. It would be very interesting to know a description of the girl that the patron on the 3rd floor when the hotel was open had seen, and the girl that was just recently seen in the kitchen in Monty's.
Where does the little girl come from? Could she possibly be related to Lily? What could be keeping her from moving on is a mystery. Perhaps she's the daughter of Lily and her sailor and is looking for her mother, who she lost in the fire. Or perhaps she's one of the victims of the hotel's numerous fires. Maybe they're not connected at all and are still searching for answers to what could be keeping them there. Whatever the case may be, there is certainly more than just rumors floating around the Prince George Hotel and the Tir na Nog Irish pub.
So Mike, what did you think of that one?
Well, there's a lot of things I could say about that story. Like, first off, we're talking about people seeing weird things in a pub, right?
And what are you saying?
And I guess I'm saying that people are drinking, they're seeing double, you know how things work.
Well, what about the mother that saw her little girl playing on the floor with her toys, and then the mother looked away for a second, and then she saw that her daughter was still sound asleep in bed?
Well, maybe the mother was still just a little bit tired.
There are also a series of drawings done in the cellar of the hotel that were most likely done by a child. They read Mama and Emily, and there's also some stick figures of 2 people holding hands, which are probably a mother and her daughter. And so it's probably that little girl that mother saw playing on the floor that night in the hotel.
I'll admit it is a little bit strange. I imagine those drawings were probably made by another little girl, probably a little girl named Emily.
Well, what about Lily Herkimer, who burned in the hotel fire that night? And then all the stories that have happened in the pub's kitchen. And then there's all the first-hand accounts of the little girl that people have seen in the hotel. How do you explain that, Mike?
Katrina, you're just not going to give up on me until I become a believer, are you?
Not when there are so many stories of first-hand accounts that have to almost explain that these things have happened here.
Well, I imagine it could just be some past patrons not wanting to miss last call.
Oh, Mike, what am I going to do with you? We'd like to know what you thought of that story, and perhaps you have a few of your own you'd like to share.
Email us at deadtimetv@gmail.com. After the break, we'll be back with James Bowler for some interesting information on unexplainable events from around the world. Welcome back to Dead Time. With so many stories about ghosts, ghouls, and other mysterious creatures in the Quinte region alone, you can imagine the endless stories from around the world.
James Bowler has become our specialist on stories from faraway lands that make up a haunting world.
Around the world, humanity has forever been fascinated with the paranormal. Since the beginning of man, stories have been told about creatures or ghosts to keep laws upheld or children from misbehaving. But is it possible some of these myths from the past actually have some truth to them? People have wondered for years, is it possible to communicate with the dead? Those that have crossed over our threshold, our life plane, and experience a new or different type of reality. Some might call them ghosts. Did you know that ghosts like to play games as well? And one game is specifically designed to play with the dead. Ouija boards are rumored to be the products that, if used correctly, can temporarily bring spirits over to our dimension from the great beyond. A little knob piece known as the planchette is used to go back and forth between letters, numbers, and the words yes or no in order to spell out what the spirits are trying to communicate. This next tale of folklore illustrates what we may or may not already know about the